Hi, this is Annie Jones for Critical Thinking, and we're reading Love Your God with All Your Mind by J.P. Moreland. And I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the questions that were asked this week. One of the questions was asked, how do we think that society has produced the empty self? And one thing I want to say is I would say social media. Social media has definitely made everyone extremely lazy. I would say we can go onto any social media platform, get a little bit of revelation. We can get a little bit of commentary. We can get a little bit of preached word. We can get snippets, things like that. And most people who are the hurried person, they tend to think that that is good enough. So that has made us lazy, I do believe. But let's get into what J.P. Moreland was talking about. Some of the things with the empty person, the empty self, I should say. He starts to talk about, um, how to help that. And I know he says admitting the problem and choosing to be different. I will say in the churches, if our ministers, if our pastors, if our leaders are always too busy and they're always thinking mega and they're always, just concerned about the preached word, you don't have an opportunity to check in with the lay members. I know I believe in small groups and small study groups is where we have an opportunity to check in with the lay members and begin to help them along in their walk versus just the preach proclaim word that happens on Sunday where there's no feedback, there's no coming back and forth. But he does talk about admitting the problem, choosing to be different. I do think those are some of the things that, as clergy or leaders in the church, they have to check in with those people, and challenge them on their intellectual goals, challenge them on their growth and things like that. Um, it does talk about two things. Oh, two of the thieves of the Christian mind. I found that really interesting about inviting those bedfellows to be guests and asking them to leave. Asking them to leave, I thought was extremely interesting because we do need to work harder at what he says we should do about the problem. I think we need to work harder at holding forth and celebrating our past and contemporary Christian thinkers. Yeah, again, I think he's saying the same thing I'm saying about challenging challenging each other in the faith. And if our leaders and our lay members don't challenge the mind to think versus constantly just shouting out the words at them and things like that. So we got to recognize those members. I think every leader should have a personal relationship with their lay members to find out where the members lie in those categories so that it doesn't cause the church to tumble. Because if we have those that are in the church that are in any of these categories, the busy, the empty self that's buried and busy, the empty self that has lost the art of developing an interior life. I did a survey last semester and I was able to find out most of the people who read their word and who do have those study times and who do put in the work. And most people, again, fall into all of these categories. Even in my survey, like 8 out of 10 people did not read the Bible for themselves, did not have study time for themselves. They depended on leadership. They depended on others because they were too busy, because they didn't have the time, or they were very passive with the word. They just was just cool with whatever. They were okay with whatever they're just being told, things like that. But I do agree that in order for us to grow as Christians, we have to, challenge that. We have to ask those questions. We have to and wait for those answers to see where people are, where they are in their learning, where they are in their growth. I believe he said that, and there were some. He talks about the virtues and the good life. And then I love about truth seeking, honesty, and wisdom, because honesty is definitely something people have to be with us. They have to admit, they have to talk to us, they have to at least, admit where they need the help, things like that. Yeah. I just find this whole book like just so interesting, so talking to me. It definitely made me think about where I'm at in this, and not just other people. And then I like when he says a lack of faith and hope creates a distracted mind incapable of intellectual growth and devotion to God. Because yes, if we trust and believe and know how to express ourselves intellectually, we have no problem even believing we know. So I hope I just didn't ramble too much.